Hello, beautiful being, and welcome back to the Kajeology podcast. I am so excited that you are here. We are talking about journaling today, and specifically how to use journaling to manifest. I had an hour-long conversation with a client the other day about all the different practices that I have used to manifest, and most of them include journaling. So I'm going to talk about how I use journaling to manifest. And then in the next podcast episode, the introduction to our interview series, I'm going to have one of my good friends come on, Corey, and she's going to tell us how she used writing to manifest. I think it was $12,000. Maybe it was a little bit more. I can't remember. It was a while ago that we recorded that episode, but she wiped out her debt through a manifestation practice of journaling. So this shit's powerful, you guys. And it's powerful because it involves our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is what is operating in the world 98% of the time. So if we don't intentionally change the way our subconscious mind views the world, views ourselves, what our subconscious mind is focused on, if we don't change that, then it's going to be at the default setting, or rather, the last programmed setting, which is what your upbringing programmed your subconscious mind to believe about your potential and about the world. So if you don't do the practices to change your subconscious mind, then you will continue to manifest in the patterns of the way that you were raised, of the traumas that you went through, of the abandonment wounds, and whatever else that you went through as you were being raised from 0 to 7 was when your subconscious mind was most squishy and was just absorbing everything as truth. So we can use writing to change our subconscious mind. So if there's a programming that you downloaded as a child that is not working for you anymore, it's not keeping you safe, it's just keeping you small, or it is having you repeat patterns in relationships or in jobs or with money or in your business, and that pattern continues to go and go, and you say, okay, wait, hold up, let's change it. We can use a pen and paper to change it and to manifest our desires, the life that you actually want to live. You can use a pen and paper to manifest that life instead. So that's what we're talking about today and how it all works. It's the subconscious mind. We learned how to use a pen and paper at a very early age, and whether or not we were writing letters and numbers and those types of things, or we were just doodling and drawing, trying to keep within the lines, but our pen just wanted to go outside the lines, right? We've been doing that since we were in that age group of that squishy subconscious. So our handwriting, our ability to write or draw is correct connected to our subconscious mind, so you can use it to access that subconscious mind. Okay, so enough of the why this works. Let's jump into what it is that you're doing. There are so many different ways that we can use journaling to manifest. And I'm going to start this conversation now, and I will definitely be adding to it in the future because I've tried so many different ways. I have people coming in who have shared the ways they've used journaling to manifest. And so this is an ongoing conversation. I am constantly evolving how I use journaling to manifest. Today, I'm going to give you a few of them, and we're going to create a workbook for you to go through. We'll make updates to the workbook as we need to, but a workbook that you can use to take prompts and guidance from that will support you in using journaling to manifest. Let's begin. The first way that I have used journaling to manifest is through a practice called morning pages. Morning pages came to me through the artist way. It's a program that I've never completed, but I took some things from it that I really liked, such as morning pages and artist dates. Artist dates are when you go out on a date with yourself to something you've may be a little bit like new or fun or quirky or interesting to you, or maybe you're just sitting in a coffee shop by yourself. But for me, it wouldn't work because I wouldn't go to the coffee shop across the street because then I know everybody, then I'm no longer by myself, right? Like a coffee shop in a whole new town, the next town over, a little tiny town up the hill, or whatever it is, right? Mixing it up a little bit is how I see artist dates. And I really love that. I'm at a place in my life where I don't really need to mix it up a little bit, but that's a whole nother story. This has nothing to do with journaling. Back to the artist way. In that book, she describes morning pages, which is taking a journal And every morning, writing 3 pages of brain dump, just getting out whatever needs to come up and out. I love this practice. I love this practice because it empties out the brain, it empties out the thoughts that are bouncing around your head that are keeping you from being present, that you're worrying over and ruminating over and thinking about and blah, 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 blah. It gets all that out of your head first thing in the morning, which allows you to think more clearly, which allows you to be connected to source, which allows you to be more present. And when all those three things are happening, then you can receive the inspired action steps to manifest your dreams. So by getting those thoughts out onto paper first thing in the morning, you are helping yourself to be a clearer channel for the manifestation guidance and intuitive hits to come through. So just journaling out. And I will say I had a hard time with this when I was first introduced to the artist way in 2020, I believe. I remember being in Taos, New Mexico, reading this book, which is kind of funny because I think she wrote it in Taos, New Mexico. But anyways, I was in Taos and I remember having a really hard time focusing for 3 pages. I was living in my van at the time and it just felt like I couldn't fully be present with myself long enough um, to complete the 3 pages. So what I started to do was adapt that, and that's going to be writing practice number 2 that I'm detailing, which is what I call the manifestation pages, an adaptation of the morning pages, where you spend 1 page in brain dump, meaning again you just getting out all those thoughts, all those worries, all those fears, maybe it's not a to-do list, but maybe it's things that you intend to do that day or how you intend to be or whatever, what you intend to work through and navigate. Just brain dumping it all for 1 page. The second page is gratitude, a whole page of all the things that you are grateful for, filling your life, your body, your mind, your experience with the plethora of things that are blessings in your life. And then the third page is future scripting. And this is when we start getting into really specific manifestation practices because the whole idea of this third page is the manifest page. So it's brain dump, gratitude, and then manifest for the third page. And there's so many ways I would approach this, and the ways that I'm breaking this down are further subcategories and further prompts for you to work with. Okay, so we'll break this down. So when you get to the third page and you are focused on manifestation, there are a few different ways you can approach this. One is to write a letter to the universe. I've done this in my journal and I've done this outside of my journal. It's how I manifested the house that I'm in right now. I wrote a letter to the universe and I say, Dear Source Energy, thank you so much for this beautiful house. It has beautiful views year round. It's bright and light. It's in a great location. I am close to nature. I have easy parking available for my friends if they want to come visit me. I have a bathtub, it's dog friendly, it's all within my price range, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I got really freaking clear. There are things now living in this house that I realize I could be clearer on, right? And that's contrast that we experience that allows us to adjust what it is that we're calling it and asking for. So that letter to the universe is how I manifested this house. I got really clear on what I wanted. I've since experienced things that I don't necessarily want in the place that I live next. And that's okay, right? It's like I wasn't clear about the fact that I wanted it to be a newer house where the drains were always like flowing really well and I didn't have to worry about clogged drains all the time. But now I figured out how to unclog drains all the time, right? It's like that's a new skill that I learned. So, anyways, I digress. A letter to the universe, a thank you letter to the universe. Thank you for this beautiful house and all the things that it has in it. Sincerely, Katie. I wrote that letter. I put it in my boyfriend's box at work. My boyfriend at the time, his box at work, and boom, this house manifested. He found it after we were already moving into this house. He didn't even see it. It was just kind of like a seed, right? Of writing your intention and then releasing it for this or something better for the highest good in divine timing. Surrender. You can also, on that third manifestation page or at any other place in your journal outside of this 3 page practice that I'm describing right now, you can just repeatedly write the same sentence, the same thing that you're focused on. So right now, for me, it's thank you so much for the $30,000 in my bank account. Thank you so much for my booming new business. I'm not going to reveal what that is right now, but my booming new business and how quickly and easily it got to the point where it could sustain the lifestyle that I want to live. And then I say, this allows me to blank. And I let myself fill in the blank slightly differently every morning. Sometimes I'm repeating things, but for the most part, it's like, so I can live with my life with ease, so that I can pay off debt, so that I can travel the world and run retreats, so that I can live at a higher frequency, so that I can live at the frequency of love and freedom, so that I can embody the frequency of love and freedom so that more people can feel this when they're around me, and therefore I'm impacting the field and helping the world heal, right? When I have this desire that when this desire is here, how do I feel? What does that make me feel? How, like, I when I have this desire, that will allow me to do what? That will allow me to show up in what way in my life and share my gifts with the world in what way? And what's the benefit of you having this thing? Because so often we have these desires and then we're like, well, I shouldn't want that. I'm greedy for wanting that. How dare I think I am to have that? But it's like, no, let's change the narrative every single morning as we write and say, no, when I have this thing, everything is made better. Everyone is made better. Everyone gets more abundance and generosity when what I desire flows through me. So you can repeat the same sentence over and over again. So what I do is I repeat those three main sentences, and then I say, and this allows me to, and just let that flow. And then I do it again, repeat those three sentences, and this allows me to, and let that flow. This is a relatively new practice. I've also just repetitively written the same thing, trying to raise my energetic minimum of what was in my bank account when I was going through Amanda Francis's Money Mentality Makeover course back in 2020, is she would have us writing, I always receive $10,000 a month in my uh, through an inflow of money or whatever, right? Like I always receive $10,000. I always receive $10,000. I always receive $10,000. And you could specify and say through my business, but why bother, right? It's like it doesn't really matter where it comes from. It's like what it is that you want is the feeling of having $10,000 in your bank account, and just repetitively writing that, just rewrite your subconscious mind around like, of course I always receive $10,000 in my bank account every single month. Like, why wouldn't I? There's no other way that it could be. That's all that I'm used to. That's all that I know, because you're reprogramming how your brain thinks and what it defaults to. So you're undoing decades of default conditioning, decades of, I don't want to say default conditioning, because default conditioning is like knowing our true nature as spirit, right? But then we come into the earthly plane and forget all of that. We forget all of that in this Maya, this illusion, and it's our process here on earth to remember that we can have anything that we desire. We are the universe around us. We're interacting with it on a co-creative level. Anyways, I digress. So on that third page of the morning pages, I would always do some sort of manifestation practice. Sometimes I would future script and fast forward 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 15 months into the future, 3 years into the future, and write about a day in my life, right? Like I'm so happy and grateful to wake up to this supportive, beautiful, loving, strong man. Like the stem sentence of I'm so happy and grateful, it came from somewhere. I'm trying to remember if it was Eckhart Tolle or Bob Proctor or some other white man, but anyway, let me back up. So when I do a future scripting, I just like start from the moment I wake up, right? Like I woke up next to this beautiful man. We're going on a walk with our dogs on our property. It's over X amount of thousands of hundreds of thousands of acres. It's beautiful. There's a retreat center that we're going to go visit and visit a yoga class at our retreat center this afternoon. And, our private chef is making us lunch and dinner tonight. And we have some friends coming over, and we're going to do a breathwork ritual and ecstatic dance. And, then we're going to pack our bags because tomorrow we're going to Morocco. It's such a beautiful life, right? I love it. And to like get into that vibe of like, ooh, look at this beautiful, amazing life. And then also at the end, adding that surrender sentence, this or something better for the highest good of all involved with grace and ease. This or something better for the highest good of all involved with grace and ease. This or something better for the highest good of all involved with grace and ease. And so it is. Okay, so I just covered a few different ways that you can handle that manifestation page as the third page of your manifestation pages. Remember, to recap, the first page, brain dump, just like in the artist way. Second page, gratitude. Recognizing all the ways the universe has already blessed you, all the things you've already manifested, reminding your subconscious brain of all the things you've already manifested. And number three is manifestation page, which you can use as future scripting, repetitive writing, setting a new energetic minimum through repetitive writing, um, writing a thank you letter to the universe, a day in your future, all the things, so many options that can be expanded upon for lots of different ways. My friend Corey is going to come on and she's going to talk about the repetitive writing practice that she did to manifest like $12,000 herself out of debt and that she continues to do to manifest beautiful opportunities and raises. I ran into her on the trail the other day and she was telling me about all the new things that she's manifesting through her writing. So I'm really excited to share that episode next. Okay, that feels complete for now. I shared two big practices. I got into nitty-gritty details as to how they work and what they are and how to do them. And I'm probably going to use AI to make some sort of workbook out of this podcast episode so that you can have those prompts visually available for you to download. So stay tuned because I'll probably put a little clip after this that explains how to get that. Have a beautiful and blessed day. I love you.